Brocky's eyes flared with fury as he realized the truth. Raken's descendant had absorbed the mana from Raken's fang. Suho quickly pieced it together. Raken's fang had sacrificed itself to protect the young wolf. A sudden notification appeared before him. "Do you want to recruit Fang's descendant as a colleague?" Without hesitation, Suho made his decision. He had intended to cooperate with Fang from the start, so there was no reason to refuse. He tapped yes. Another notification followed. "You have recruited Fang's descendant as a colleague." A surge of foreign memories flowed into Suho's mind, the memories of Raken's descendant. In the vision, Brocky spoke with a heavy tone, addressing the young descendant. He acknowledged their loss in the war against the Shadow Monarch, stating that the world followed the rule of survival of the fittest. Because they had been defeated, many things would be taken from them. He urged the young one to become strong so that the Fang clan could one day prosper. With an uncharacteristic gentleness, he placed a hand on the descendant's head. Tears welled in the young wolf's eyes as fear gripped its small body. Before it stood Brocky, now kneeling in submission before strange figures, beings with eerie lights shining from their heads. Confusion filled Brocky's voice as he questioned them. He demanded to know what they were and why they had not yet ended him. A woman holding a baby observed him with a calculating gaze. Coldly, she remarked that he seemed like a useful monster. The baby in her arms let out a chilling giggle before speaking. It declared that Brocky was exactly what it needed. With a twisted smile, the woman made her decision. She reached out and embedded a metallic device into Brocky's eye. Pain surged through him as something foreign took hold within him. The young descendant's cries grew louder as it was forced to witness everything. The woman's voice carried a cruel command. From that moment on, Hyena Brocky's duty would be to capture humans alive and deliver them to her. The device implanted in him would grant him greater strength, its potential depending on the one who wielded it. The darkness behind her words was suffocating. The desires they held were beyond twisted. As the memory faded, Suho stood in shock. These people, the ones who had implanted the device into Brocky, were directly connected to Itarim. Realization dawned upon him. The Fang's descendant did not seek revenge against Brocky. It only wanted to stop his rampage. But if this was all tied to a greater plan, then defeating Brocky was the only option. Yet, a grim truth settled in his mind. He lacked the power to win. A notification appeared before Suho. "Notice, you have received a quest for recruiting a colleague." Suho's brows furrowed as he read the message. Another message followed immediately. Quest notice. Quest: Monarch's descendants. Objective: seek out the Monarch's descendants and recruit them as colleagues. Progress: Monarch descendants who have become colleagues, 1 out of 8. As Suho processed the information, another alert appeared. A bond skill is formed due to the bond with the Fang's descendant. A newfound connection surged through him, the presence of his new ally resonating within. The young descendant and the young monarch flared with a powerful aura, their energy surging in unison. Baru observed the phenomenon, noting that the young monarch was undergoing a dight transformation unlike anything that had happened to the king before. Meanwhile, Brocky, filled with frustration and determination, refused to stand idly by. Without hesitation, he launched a devastating attack towards Suho, the force of the blow creating a powerful impact that sent shockwaves through the area. A thick cloud of dust engulfed the battlefield, obscuring everything from view. Amidst the chaos, a notification appeared, an indication that a new skill had been created through the bond with the Fang's descendant. Brocky was momentarily stunned as he felt an unfamiliar grip restraining his arms. A human hand, now bearing sharp, beast-like claws, held him firmly in place. His gaze shifted to the figure before him, and his eyes widened in shock. Suho's appearance had changed completely. His once dark hair had turned a striking white, and an overwhelming aura radiated from his transformed body. A notification suddenly appeared. Bond skill, Beast Possession, Level 1. Mana cost, 1 per second. By allowing the Fang's descendant to dwell within your body, your physical form is enhanced, and your senses sharpened to the level of a beast. Brocky's shock as he realized what had happened. Suho had absorbed the descendant's power. Without hesitation, Brocky launched a fierce attack, his claws tearing through the air. Suho, however, effortlessly dodged the strike. His body felt incredibly light, his movements arched sharper and more precise than ever before. A newfound awareness coursed through him. His senses had become as keen as a beast's, allowing him to instinctively detect the best ways to evade danger. Brocky's expression twisted in disbelief as he took in Suho's transformation. The weak opponent from moments ago had become something entirely different. Brocky's mind raced with desperation. He couldn't afford to lose. If he did, everything would be over. With renewed determination, he launched a powerful attack, his claws tearing through the air with lethal force. Suho stood firm, raising his arms to block the strike. The impact sent a shockwave rippling through the battlefield. From a distance, Baru observed the clash, sensing a shift in energy. Suho's mana had increased. Brocky's eyes burned with fury. He didn't understand what had changed, but one thing was certain. He would never accept defeat at the hands of a human. To him, power was dictated by species, and in the end, humans were simply inferior. Suho and Brocky continued exchanging powerful blows, each strike meeting with equal force. Their battle intensified, fists colliding in rapid succession. Mid-combat, Brocky suddenly froze, his eyes widening in shock as he looked down at his hands. Blood dripped from fresh wounds. At that moment, a notification appeared. You have learned a new skill. Unarmed Combat Alovibars. Suho's hands began to glow with a faint light as another notification followed. Skill, Unarmed Combat Lovidal. Passive skill, Mana. Cost, none. You become more skillful in hand-to-hand combat. Attacks using your body will deal 33% additional damage to opponents. Baru seethed with anger, refusing to accept any claim of species superiority before the young monarch. To him, nothing could surpass the species of the Shadow Monarch. Brocky's eyes widened in realization. The kid was the Shadow Monarch's successor. Before he could react, Suho launched a powerful kick mid-air, striking Brocky's head with immense force. His body crashed into the ground, shattering the earth beneath him. Under the midnight sky, the forest remained still, the aftermath of battle lingering in the air. Suho's once white hair faded back to black, his body trembling with exhaustion. His breath was heavy, each inhale and exhale labored from the intense fight. Brocky lay motionless on the ground, his battered form barely stirring. The young descendant stood beside him, gently licking his head, its quiet presence offering a faint sense of comfort. A sudden crack echoed as the crystal embedded in Brocky's eye shattered. His body tensed as memories surged through his mind, flashes of a past long buried. Images of Sir Raken surfaced, and with them, the raw fury of his past failure. The weight of his inability to protect the one he once served pressed against him, rekindling the very reason he had sought strength in the first place. Nearby, Suho remained standing, the young descendant growling softly at his side. The energy of the battle still clung to the air, thick with unspoken tension. Then, a notification appeared. You have defeated Hyena, Brocky. Notice. Level up, level up.